Look, y'all, I'm really tired. I can't really do the whole shtick right now. Uh, The Town That Cried Wolf, a short film by Chris Hendricks. Uh, I don't know what to expect from this. It's a short film. It's a little bit different than what I've been reacting to usually. I got a bunch of other stuff on like the back burner that I want to react to, but I guess this will be first because I am not really in the mood for anything exciting, and I don't think this will be exciting. Probably just yeah. The Town That Cried Wolf. Of course, I'm familiar with the what?
A long
Okay,
time ago, at the base of the snowy mountains, was a quiet town.
okay.
Beside that town was a cool, babbling river, and across that river was a wide, grassy field. On that grassy field was a flock of sheep, eating to their heart's content, and watching that flock of sheep was a shepherd boy. And that shepherd boy was bored.
Yeah,
So bored.
yeah. So he says that there's a wolf. Uh, the townsfolk believe him. They all go up, and but then this happens like another time, another like two times. Then an actual wolf shows up, and nobody believes him because it wasn't there the first two times. And yeah, I know the tale.
The shepherd boy had one job: to watch for any wolves that might come to eat the sheep. However, there hadn't been any wolves in months, and the shepherd boy had absolutely nothing to do. But then he had an idea, a marvelous idea, an idea that would make his day far more interesting. The boy ran to town, yelling, "Wolf! Wolf!" Within moments, shocked townspeople carrying pitchforks and large sticks were running out of the town, across the bridge, and into the field to defend the sheep against the wolves, only to find
Nothing.
a flock of perfectly content sheep and one
Yeah.
shepherd boy, laughing his head off. All of the townspeople knew they had been tricked and walked back into town, grumbling to themselves. All except for one man. He was a candlestick maker by trade, and as he crossed the bridge back into town, he thought to himself, "My candlestick business has been failing for months. Everything I tried to do to get people to come to my shop
Oh, I see what's going. I see what's going on. I see how this is going.
has been useless." And yet this little boy got 100 people to pay attention to him by yelling a single word. The candlestick maker returned to his shop, pondering this.
Hmm.
A few hours later, in the middle of town, the villagers were alerted by the sound of someone yelling, "Fire! Fire!" The townspeople quickly
Hey, he's a. Hey, he knows how to do that. He's a hustler. What can I say?
gathered buckets of water and dashed to the source of the blaze, only to find
Nothing.
a single lit
A
candle
single lit candle. That's awesome.
in a stand, sitting outside of the very intact and unburned candlestick shop. The candlestick maker welcomed everyone. "Hiya, folks! Here's the fire. While you're here, would you be interested in buying some candles?" Most of the townspeople left in a huff, annoyed that they had been tricked twice in one day. But a handful of people enjoyed the humor of the situation, went inside the shop, and bought a few candles. The candlestick maker had his best sales day in months.
Ah, good moves.
Next door, the baker watched all of this commotion closely. She was a shrewd businesswoman and could clearly see the potential of this new marketing strategy. The next morning, as everyone was just waking up, she screamed from her shop, "Bear! Bear!" All of the villagers once again grabbed their pitchforks and clubs and ran to the bakery, only to be greeted by a smiling baker holding out a tray with a variety of pastries. "I hope you'll bear with this terrible pun, but I know you're all hungry, and all baked goods are 40% off today."
Nice.
The villagers were annoyed, but it was indeed breakfast time, and the pastry
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm like in like olden times and this shit, and I get fooled by this shit 3 times in a row, I'm gonna become the problem. I'm gonna become the problem. I'm gonna be the wolf. I'm gonna be the bear. I'm gonna be the fire, and no one's gonna believe him.
all smelled delicious. The baker, too, had a very successful sales day. Soon, more businesses were getting into it. In the weeks that followed, there would hardly be
I
a
can't really react to this. There's not really a whole lot going on. This is why I usually do like combat stuff or like indie shows. But like I'm liking this. I like the style. I like the spin on the story.
day that would go by without someone yelling about one emergency or another. Lion! Tornado!
What is this guy thinking? Tornado? Like, at least with the other ones, like, you can tell. You can't really tell immediately whether or not it's, like, a thing. I guess the fire, you'd be able to tell if there was, like, no smoke anywhere. But even then, it's like, the smoke might be low or the fire might just be starting. But tornado? I feel like I'd be able to tell if a tornado was in my town. Then, that being said, this is a massive fucking town. Like, wow. But is this the school or the mayor's the equivalent of the White House? I don't know.
Killer bees! But on the eastern side of town, far away from the grassy field, a different kind of conversation was going on.
Oh.
Murmurs and grumblings were sweeping through the town's homes and businesses. Have you heard all of the horrible things happening on the western side of town? Yes, isn't it terrible? I heard there were roaming tigers there last night. I was going to go shopping for...
Oh, they're just not bothering. They're just not bothering because that's not on their side of town. So they don't know that. Okay.
Pastries.
That's
but
good.
With all of the mayhem over there, I think I'll wait until that side of town is safe again. A blacksmith that owned a metal shop on the eastern side
What's
of
he
town
gonna say?
overheard all of the rumors. He was no fool and knew a business opportunity when he saw one. Friends, the pandemonium happening on the western side of town is concerning to us all, and there's nothing more important than the safety of my neighbors.
Oh, I thought he was gonna. No, he's just gonna make weapons for everyone.
You need to defend yourselves against these threats. Come to my shop. Buy any
This haircut is so ass, but that mustache is so fantastic. Bald ass.
weapon and I'll throw in a dagger for free. That day, the blacksmith sold out of his entire inventory of swords, spears, axes, bows, and arrows, and he was quite pleased with himself.
Hey, good move.
Back on the western side of town, the villagers there were troubled. Neighbors,
What now?
we have a real emergency now. Have you seen the people on the eastern side of town? They're all walking around with weapons strapped to their belts. Are they preparing for a revolt? Are they going to rob us or take over our homes? So, all of the townspeople on the western side of
She got a flail of all things. The hey, bruh. I'm not an expert when it comes to weapons, but I know that thing is like really unwieldy. Like one wrong move and your arm is like getting holes in it.
town started to frantically buy up all the pitchforks, lances, knives, and anything else they could find. Before long,
Yeah.
the quiet town became not so quiet at all. The town mayor, who was caught quite off guard by all of this, invited the people of the town to a council meeting to determine what was going on, but the meeting went nowhere. People from each side of town accused each other of starting conflicts and fear-mongering. The mayor stopped the meeting before a fight could erupt, but everyone left the meeting with more suspicion of the people on the other side of town. The mayhem
Damn.
continued. School children who had previously been friends needed to be separated from one another, and their parents gave long, impassioned pleas to the teachers and school board, asking why their schools weren't safe anymore. It became rare for people on one side of town to ever do business on the other
All because one random kid was bored.
side for fear of being called out or ridiculed. If a townsperson did decide to try and make peace between the East and West, they were shunned from both sides as being disloyal to their neighbors. I do not know what happened to that town. All I know is that while the villagers were arguing
They all killed each other.
and showing each other contempt, outside of town there was a shepherd boy who watched helplessly as wolves devoured his sheep. Oh, he yelled out for help all right, and it's not that the townspeople didn't believe him. They just couldn't hear him.
Oh. Damn. Fear can motivate individuals, but it paralyzes society. Yeah. Huh. That was neat. Anything else? That was cool. I like that. That was neat. Neat little thing. Only 10 minutes, damn. Well, I couldn't really react to like a lot of that. I was just kind of like taking in the story. It was a good story though. I like the lesson. I like how it spins on the original tale. Yeah, this was good. Uh, bye.